And fans, because we're gonna get thousands of views on this episode, they're gonna hate that statement, dog. They're gonna hate it so much, and they're probably gonna dislike me for it. But all right, guys, welcome back to this episode of Golf and Gospel Podcast. Man, we got another good one for you, man. Obviously, Scottie Scheffler wins another tournament. Boring golf, boring first playoff game of the NFL, man. Wasting our Sunday away. But we got a lot of things to talk about, man. Starting off, we're going to again update you guys on me and Nate's fantasy golf that we did our draft 2 weeks ago. We're going to recap, like I said, the American Express, as well as break down the Farmers Insurance for Brooks Koepka being in the field this week. Patrick Reed, huge victory in Dubai. The LPGA is also starting this week. We're going to talk about that. And lastly, how do we deal when sports come to an end in our life, man? So again, I'm Geremy Davis, host of Golf and Gospel. Golf and Gospel is the best golf YouTube show out there where I play against your favorite creators, athletes, professionals, businessmen, and 9 holes as we're pointing you guys to the gospel in regards to Jesus Christ, man. If you want to check that out, go to golfandgospel.com. And if your heart leads you to, I will be super grateful if you want to donate to the Give Send Go crowdfund in the description, in the link in the description. I keep on messing up all the time. And also, who's here with me? Obviously, my dog, the best PT in the Southwest, my co-host, former Nebraska Cornhusker golfer, Nate Wong. Nate, let's jump straight into it, dog. Well, first off, actually, fantasy update here. Didn't get to talk about this last week because I feel like we were talking about some good things. We didn't get into it, but update you guys on our fantasy draft and the people that we drafted. So for me, Ben Griffin last week got in the top 25 in the Sony Open, got me 5 points. Tony Finau played, missed the cut, 0 points. Also, Henley last week, which is on Nate's team, got in the top 25, which is another 5 points. But Neil Shipley, 5th-round pick, missed the cut. Now we turn over to this weekend, which I am happy because I did draft Scottie, and he was locked in. Scottie gets 50 points for the win. Ben Griffin got me another 5 points for a top 25. And once again, unfortunately, Tony Finau missed the cut. But for Nate, Russell Henley, as we're recording right now, believe he finished in the top 10, gets him 10 points. Neil Shipley missed the cut again. Now, we didn't include DP World Tour stuff because I started to think about that because Patrick Reed's on Nate's team. Won a day, that would have been 50 points. But there were some things last week with some guys that I had would have got me multiple points, but I didn't want to put in the addition of DP World Tour, so we're just going to stick with PGA, LIV, as well as the LPGA. But, Nate, let's talk about it, dog. Recap the American Express. Let's start off with this homie Blaze Brown. Comes out of nowhere from the Bahamas. Gets to Palm Springs on, I believe, Wednesday night because he didn't get to have a practice round. Plays throughout the weekend, played phenomenal, bro. At one point was tied up with Scottie Scheffler. What are your thoughts on this game?
Dude, he was in the final group on Sunday. It was him, Scottie, and I think Siwoo Kim.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his chipping was unbelievable all the way up until like Sunday. He just had an okay day. But man, going up until Sunday, his chipping and his putting. And then I think on Saturday, was it 17 and 18, he birdied both those holes. And like 18, that birdie was dead center of the cup. I remember it was like no doubt that putt was going in. 17, it kind of caught the right edge, I think, or left edge. I can't quite remember. But man, his putting and chipping was...
Was it 18 on Saturday? Because he could have got the course record, but missed it a little to the right on the high side. I think he tapped in. He ended up shooting 60, which he ended up tying with Putnam, or was that Friday?
That was Friday when he shot 60.
Friday, got you.
Saturday, he shot like 68, I think. It wasn't like, it was low, but it wasn't like low.
Yeah.
But dude, his chipping and putting was crazy.
Short game,
Thursday through Saturday, and then Sunday was just an average short game kind of performance. I think he probably would have wanted a little bit more, but
absolutely.
But still really good showing for him.
I do want to ruffle some feathers here, man. So obviously I talked about, which a lot of people understand this, that LIV has been poaching some of the young stars in golf. Do you think there's a chance they're like, yo, let's try to get this homie Blaze Brown? Like
Brown.
Probably won't happen. I feel like Blaze has been too secure on the PGA Tour, and especially like the Korn Ferry and stuff. But do you think LIV is probably thinking like, let's take a shot at this kid. Let's see if we can get this 18-year-old who's now 18, he was just 17. Let's see if we can get him to come on to LIV. You think LIV is trying to do something like that?
Dude, I mean, if you're LIV, you want a guy with the name Blades, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the only thing is I think this guy's so young, and I think he's really smart with his. I think he doesn't care that much about money, and he cares more about like fame. And I think it was Julian Edelman that said this about football, but he goes, you make your money in the regular season, but you make your name in the postseason. And that's kind of how I feel about LIV and the PGA. Is like you make your name in the PGA, granted majors really, but you make your name more so in the PGA, and then you make your money in LIV. And I get the feeling, I don't know, I mean, I barely watched any interviews with Blades, but I get the feeling that he wants to make his name. He cares more about his legacy than he cares more about chasing the bag. So I don't think it's gonna happen. But it would. I think if you're LIV, man, you do empty checkbook. I'd be like, I'll pay you and I'll pay your family.
I think the only difficulties of that right now, and we'll get into this later, obviously Bryce DeChambeau hasn't secured his final contract going after 2026, as well as what they kept talking about is Patrick Reed hasn't solidified his contract either heading into this season as well. So they have a lot of things to figure out. Granted, LIV doesn't have a cap space like obviously other sports do. So there is an unlimited amount of money that they could showcase off to Blaze if they wanted to, but they got to think about some of the bigger names in the LIV golf space right now. But I want to talk about, my dog Andrew Putnam, man, was so close. Hasn't got a victory in a while. Didn't have the greatest season last year, but boy, did he rebound very well. I mean, after the first day, I think he was T131, comes back, has the low round. He set the low round, and then Blaze Brown tied him 60 on Friday, and was in contention. Actually had the lead for probably about 2 or 3 holes. What were your thoughts on, obviously, the best golfer to come out of Pepperdine?
Yeah, no offense to his played really well too.
Yeah, he came back,
But dude, very impressed with Putnam. His short game. I think that's the tale of Blades and Putnam, and Scottie for that matter too. Is just their short game. Granted, I think Scottie shined more in the iron game today, and I'm sure we'll get to it.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll get to it, but Putnam, his short game was unbelievable, and he hit every fairway. And he was just a stick out there.
One of the more accurate guys on the tour, man, which is the reason why I picked him as a dark horse, because I applaud his accuracy. Not the biggest hitter, but if you're going to lose distance, still stay accurate. Yeah. Well, next week's about to. That's what I'm kind of thinking ahead a little bit. Obviously, Torrey Pines South is the longest course on the PGA Tour. But again, we know that accuracy is important at the PGA West Stadium, and that was part of the reason why I picked Putnam as well. And I think short game or putting, I think he was ranked 16th, was another reason why I picked Putnam too. Dude, but continue though. Sorry.
No, that's exactly he didn't need to be long. So that course definitely fit his game. And he's not bad with his irons, and he never hit it in the water on 17. I don't think. No, he didn't hit it on Saturday, and there's no way he could have on Friday or Thursday. Maybe he did on Thursday, but.
Probably. He's T131. T131. He probably had some mistakes there, and he just, he caught fire Friday, man. He definitely learned from his mistakes.
He hit his irons. Yeah, he definitely hit his irons accurate enough, So, I thought he was just solid top to bottom, really no leaks in the system, but and his short game was superb. So, yeah,
and I agree with that, bro. And like I said, I'm super grateful for Putnam, man. Like I said, he was one of the first PGA Tour players we had on the channel. Unfortunately, that episode did not turn out as well as the energy the day of the shoot was showcased. But, man, I was super happy to see him overcome that. There's a lot of gospel in that day one to the rest of the for the rest of the tournament. I mean, sometimes life can be going really, really bad, and things can change just like that with simple hope and faith and belief. Putnam displayed that on the golf course, man, and I'm just very happy to see him overcome that. Like I said, his season last year was not the best, man. And dropped in the official world golf rankings. FedEx Cup points weren't looking promising at all. And it's funny because in golf, the offseason isn't that long. Like in football, basketball, you get a long time to recoup, recover, figure things out. In golf, unless you're one of those top guys and you don't have to play in FedEx Cup fall, you might get 3 weeks to maybe 6 weeks off, which isn't that long. So sometimes your previous season still carries over into next season. And to see Putnam turn it around and play that well in his second tournament of the year is super encouraging, super inspirational, man. super inspiring, man. So I was super happy for Putnam. Again, I don't know if he's gonna watch this. I don't even know if he watched me project him to win, but someone in Putnam's camp coming across this, man, let him know Geremy thinks like that was admirable to see,
I know.
man, and I'm super happy for him. And I hope his season continues to traject upwards. I mean, when I first met him, I think he was in the top 35 in FedEx Cup points, and there were some murmurs about him making the Ryder Cup team. Obviously, he didn't, but like the fact that you got murmurs about making that team is super impressive. So again, shout out to that homie Putnam, man, finishing with a T2 and rebounding off of a season that probably wasn't one of his best seasons golfing.
Yeah,
but obviously,
we're definitely pulling for him. Yeah, definitely pulling for him, dude.
Big time pulling for Putnam, man. And I don't even think a lot of people probably, unless you're a golf head, knows who Andrew Putnam is. Obviously, people are already gonna know more of the, bigger names or bigger personalities in golf. But Andrew Putnam's just more like that quiet, laid-back guy who's just on the PGA Tour, and he can sneakily get into a top 5. I mean, excluding last year, but he can like sneakily get into a top 5. You wouldn't realize it, and just do a lot of great things. And I'm hoping, like when I first met Putnam, I hope that's the season we're about to see again from him.
Dude, I wish people knew, because I remember I was trying to get recruited by Pepperdine. I was not good enough to play at Pepperdine, but I remember I talked to them, and I like went to Pepperdine, and the coach was there, and I went to go like visit, more like unofficial. But like it's not even an unofficial visit, but I went to go visit, and I was all like, yeah, I'm a fan of Andrew Putnam. He was #1 NCAA player when I was, I think, a junior in high school. Dude, he was such a baller at college. But so it's weird. I feel like I've known this guy and like grew up with this guy. And now he's balling, and I mean he's been balling, but and it kind of sucked to see him have, just like what you're saying, like a down year, and then great start to the season. A lot of promise ahead. So I hope he gets into some more signature events and stuff like that too.
I hope he does well at the Farmers Insurance, and then that projects him to get, I don't know, his FedEx ranking up to get into those events, or sponsor exemptions. Always sponsor exemptions are always going to Jordan Spieth and Ricky Fowler somehow. But we'll see in regards to that. But obviously, we have to talk about the winner, man. And I'm gonna be honest, I love Scottie. I understand why Scottie is the face of the PGA Tour. He's amazing. It's great to see him win. There are a lot of talks about him chasing certain Tiger Woods stats, which I think some of those are uncatchable, but some are possible, are in reaching distance for Scottie. I just hate when Scottie wins because of the reaction to the golf world. Because if he doesn't, it's almost like the golf world or golf fans are so disappointed when he loses, when it's like other golfers aren't worthy of winning. And I hate that. And when me, you, and Ali were talking on the phone, shout out to the homie Ali Kincaid, I talked about how like it's almost a little bit of idolatry there. Your day is based on how Scottie Scheffler plays golf. If Scottie plays bad, people are so disappointed. But I'm just like, it's okay if Putnam would have won, or Jason Day would have won, or Siwoo Kim. But then when he wins, there's a lot of people who are so boastful in Scottie winning. And Scottie cares about winning, but like I don't think he really cares about the notoriety and the attention to him. Because in interviews, he said consistently, if golf ever got in the way of his family, he's picking his family over golf. And he says after he wins, he enjoys it for about 10 minutes, and he's trying to figure out what's for dinner. So I am a fan of Scottie Scheffler, but I don't idolize him like a lot of the golf fans do. And like I said, it becomes very dangerous because it almost becomes, again, in that space of like idolatry. However, congrats to Scottie Scheffler for winning his 20th PGA tournament of his career. Nate, what are some things you liked about Scottie Scheffler's game, which that's kind of easy to speak about, but I mean, let's talk about it.
Dude, I'm totally with you. I think it's like this they're just sensationalizing Scottie, and I think they're definitely overdoing it. And yeah, a little bit of possibly idolatry going on with all that. But I will say,
and even just to cut you off real quick, because like even like that day one, when Minwoo Lee was winning, dude, no one's talking about it. Now,
dude, why? He wasn't even in the lead.
Yeah. Scottie was probably like 5th at that time. We just kept talking about bogey-free day for Scottie. And I get it. You do have to, showcase the face of that league. But it doesn't mean you negate, the person who's playing well. And dude, at that time, Minwoo was balling. Yeah, Minwoo was balling, bro. and like no post, barely anything talking about him. And I'm just like, what are we gonna do? And like, why are we not talking about Minwoo Lee? Why are we not bringing the chef on here?
Dude,
Now, yeah,
that's
we
so
probably
funny,
had
dude.
a sense that he wasn't going to make it far into Sunday
Hang
because
on to it. Yeah.
unfortunately, Minwoo has like those breakout days, and it's like, oh, he's about to cook, and then he kind of falls off the rest of the weekend. Uh, but yeah, it just bothers me. And I'm gonna have some. Again, we're about to get thousands of views from this episode. Scotty Stans might attack me from that, but I think that's just the truth of it, man. It's just like, yeah, let's just only talk about Scotty and negate everyone else. It's like there are some other great, unless it's like one of those great stories like a Blaze Brown. Let's say hypothetically, if I don't know, call it if Putnam would have won, would they have showcased Putnam like that? Like I feel like they were late to posting that he shot 60. They were like, Blaze Brown shot 60.
Dude.
Oh shoot, Putnam shot 60. It's like, well, you're a little too late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This
is the thing. When the PGA Instagram page or Facebook page or whatever, the social media page, on Thursday, I swear they posted every other hour, right? Or every hour.
Yeah.
And every hour was how Scotty's first hole, he birdied. Scotty's second hole, he birdied. Oh, he made a par on hole 3.
Yeah.
And then, he made a birdie. Yeah, and then they literally like were showing every shot he hit, and he wasn't even in the lead. They showed like every shot like he hit on the back nine, still wasn't like it was like Pearson Cody was up there. It was like
Cody, Minwoo, dog.
and then Minwoo's ball. I think there was like 2 or 3 guys ahead of him because he shot -9, I believe, day one, and dude shot -10 on day one, and it was like exactly that is exactly right. I'm like, yo, he ain't even in the lead, and we're showing every one of his shots. And then all Minwoo Lee gets, all Pearson Cody gets, is like a post with their scorecard. And that's all they get. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and I get it. Like, the PGA is going to get more engagement when it's Scotty.
For sure.
Fine. But it was just like, yo, you guys had 10 Scotty posts to this one Minwoo Lee post, and he was balling. Pearson Cody didn't get any credit.
None. He was
I forget who was. Yeah, I forget who was. I think it was Pearson Cody, but
it was Pearson Cody. It was him and Minwoo. The tie for first.
Yes, dude. And I'm like, yo, we're just seeing Scotty stuff. But with that being said, congrats to Scotty. I think what he did on Sunday was unbelievable. On the front nine, he might have had 10 feet made of putts when you added it all up because his approach shots were like this close. So then he gets like 1 foot.
Darts.
1 foot on hole 1, and then the next hole he gets like 3 feet, and then the next hole was like 6 inches, and so when you add it all up, it was like 10 foot made of putts. He was throwing darts and chipping really well. So like on the par 5s, he would chip it up really, really close and just tap it in. It's so hard to beat when you have like this birdie fest, and
it's tough to beat.
And like the guys that were chasing him, the Putnams, the Jason Days, don't hit as far as he does. So it's really hard to throw darts at from 170 versus 130.
Yes, totally agree, man. But again, shout out to Scottie Scheffler. Like, I'm happy to see him win. I'm not saying I don't want to see Scotty win. I mean, this is a guy who is surrendered to the Lord. I love that there's a representation,
good role model,
of a great role model that's winning.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that, again, when someone else is doing well, you can showcase them as well.
Yeah.
Above that, too, if Scotty's not winning, if someone else is winning, you can display them. And if Scotty doesn't win, it's okay. Those other PGA Tour players are grinding just as hard. Yeah, I guess it would have been okay if Seawood would have won, Blaze would have got a victory, Putnam, Minwoo, whoever. It would have been okay. But I feel like the world would not be okay with that. But Nate, I want to move over to some of the guys that missed the cut, man. Who were you surprised by? Akshay missed the cut. Unfortunately, Neil Shipley missed the cut. 0-2 this year. One of your 5th round draft pick. My 5th round draft pick, Tony Finau, missed the cut. One of my picks, Andrew Novak, which I'm not gonna dig too deep into that, man.
Dude,
he missed the
played
cut.
Well day one too.
He did well day one. He did. And lastly, a guy like Justin Rose, man. Who are you most surprised with, missing the cut at the American Express?
I don't know about surprise, but I would say Justin Rose, just because I feel like I saw it happen in slow motion.
Yeah, we were watching that. Yeah,
on Saturday. This is also weird too, because this was a 3-day cut instead of a 2-day, a 3-round cut.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching it on Saturday, like, why are they doing threesomes? And it's like, oh, that's right, because but Yeah, I feel like I saw it happen in slow motion. And there was one, I think it was 16, maybe it was 15. He hit his drive. He like blocked it way right.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Golf Channel's like, now odds to make the cut,
Yeah,
20%.
you hate when that thing pops up. I mean, they don't
I
know,
know.
but if you're rooting for
Yeah.
that player, you hate to see that,
Like,
dog.
don't show me that. Yeah.
Right.
Granted, you know, I was like, yo, Justin Rose about to pull off the Patriots against the Falcons. He about to come back. I know he just blocked it, but it's all right.
Right.
But I feel like that was the most heartbreaking, and just because he had such a great year last year, and then the homie Ollie was all like, "Yo, he's a 1-year wonder." I'm like, "No, you can't put that on Trey Rose."
I was like, "No way." Yeah, he said. I think Ollie said his peak was last year in his career, and I was like, "Yeah, no way." He won the Open, obviously, and then no, he didn't win the Open. What major did Justin Rose win? Let me see. I can't remember. Because I think he's still hoping to win the Open, right?
Yeah. Like 2016, wasn't he world number one or really close to being world number one like 10 years ago?
I think so. Justin. What was wrong with my iPad? Justin Rose. Can't believe he said he was a 1-year wonder. He won the U.S. Open, and that's the only one he got. He got a T2, obviously, at the Masters. PGA Championship 2012 got a T3, and then the Open, that's when he lost to Xander. He got the T2. So he's been like super close, dog. Yeah.
Yeah, so like this, like, and yeah, it's like from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, he was good in 2024. Beginning of the year, Masters, to the end of the year, St. Jude was really good in 2025. So you can't be like, you know, 1-year wonder.
And does well in the Ryder Cup too.
Yeah, so, the one you could argue for is like someone like Nelly, who just did really well in the front half of the season in 2024, and then kind of disappeared in the rest of 2024, and then 2025 didn't really. I mean, she just contended, and that's about it, you know.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
LPGA take.
I feel like that's where you can be like 1-hit wonder, 1-year wonder was just, dude. She just had this bulk of tournaments, and that was it.
Yeah.
So far. I'm not wishing this on Nelly. Okay,
No,
so
we
love Nelly here.
Yeah. I'll say for me, Tony Finau, man, he's my 5th-round pick. I might get some shade for this too, but there was in 2024 rumors of Finau like, is he going to join LIV?
I freaking knew you were going where. That's where you go.
And it's almost like, bro, you haven't been a threat in a little while. Should he have went? He has a lot of kids. That financial stability would have been great.
Dude, he made $0 his last 2 weeks, dude.
I know.
Gotta think about it like that.
And then the last 2 years, I mean, I guess last year, including so far this year, only one top 5. So I don't know. Now, obviously, when there was rumors about him going to LIV, and I think he left the Hero World Challenge, it was rumors like, oh, is he about to leave and go to LIV? But I guess he was just getting his knee cleaned up because he had some cartilage and meniscus issues and stuff like that. I don't know if that's still affecting his game or whatnot. But man, but yeah, I'm just disappointed in Finau thus far because I am a fan. You know, I said me and Nate don't speak down on anybody. We're hopeful for these people, but as fans of the game of golf, it's like, oh, I want them to play better. But I started to think like that, like, man, Finau has nothing left in the tank, bro. Like, should he have slid?
Don't put that on. No, don't put that on him.
Should he have slid, bro? But, you know, I think obviously he is secure in his ways on the PGA Tour. He loves the PGA Tour. I don't think he would leave. But that thought started creeping in my head. The more and more I see him miss cuts this year, only one top 5 last year, I'm like, are you digressing? But I hope not, man. I love Finau, dog.
Maybe, yeah. Hopefully just the health. Just get your knee healthy. Then you're going to be back in like 2022 form. Because like 2022-ish, he was like the 9th player in the world. Like he was up there.
He won a 3M Open that year, I believe.
Yeah, he had 3 wins that year. It was towards the end of the year. Yeah.
So we'll see, man. Shout out to Tony Finau, but as my 5th-round pick, I need you to start playing a little bit better, dog. I need you to play a little bit better.
Don't play well because I'm going against you in this fantasy thing, but I still am a fan. I've always been a fan of Finau. Plays ping, hits bombs, and you love his swing. That's why you like him.
It's funny because like I love his ball striking, even though his swing is a little bit unorthodox, very short, very quick and snappy. But I just love his ball strike. It just looks good as soon as he hits the ball, man. So That's my take on it, man. But let's get on to the Farmers Insurance. Before we break down the Farmers Insurance, Brooks Koepka returns back to the PGA. He's playing this week. What are some things you're expecting from Brooks Koepka as he plays his first PGA Tour since, I believe, 2022, the inaugural of LIV?
I mean, not counting majors, I guess, but
Yeah.
I really don't know what to expect. Like, is this gonna be a tune-up event, or is he like? I'm sure he's gonna try to kill it and try to, beat everybody. I mean, maybe this lives in my head rent free, and it shouldn't. But I just remember him saying this on Netflix Full Swing, and I'm gonna remind everybody, because I remind everybody every time I talk about Brooks and why he went to LIV, is that he said, how do you beat someone like Scottie when he shoots 61 every week? And that's why he went to LIV. Guess what? Isn't Scottie playing in the
No, he's not in the Farmers
tournament
Insurance.
next week?
He's not this
Oh,
week. He's
shoot.
not because I'm happy because Xander's back this week, so he doesn't have to worry about Scottie.
I did see Xander. Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, but at some point you're gonna have to play against Scottie.
I guess so.
What? Well, you got to play against him in the Phoenix Open. I believe Brooks is playing in the Cognizant. I'll not say that tournament, but
Cognizant, or whatever.
I don't think Scottie will play in that one, but you are gonna have to face him at the Phoenix Open, which is a tournament that he's won twice already now. But yeah, you have to.
If he goes to
Scottie.
any signature events, any signature events,
Scottie. Yeah.
like sorry, what were you gonna say?
I'm about to say, I mean, unless you have this assumption that I'm gonna come back because Scottie's digression. No, Scottie has not digressed.
Does he
one
look
bit,
like
bro.
he's about to? Yeah.
Yeah.
No way. No way.
He's one major away from a career Grand Slam already. So good luck, Brooks.
I know it, dude. And it looks like this season is just going to be another Scottie season.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I want to see
think
what happens when Rory is playing, and obviously Xander's playing, Max Homa lightly, and some of these other guys, because he hasn't seen, I think, he hasn't seen two of the top 5 players in official World Golf rankings thus far yet. So we'll see. Yeah,
Max Homa did okay this week. Shout out to Max. He made the cut.
Absolutely. Yep.
Little positive trajectory in his game.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like but the other thing too is like Brooks faced a huge financial penalty to come back from LIV to the PGA, and if he's going to play in these big events like these signature events that have $20-25 million purses, he's got to face Scottie, and he's like, I don't want to face this guy who shoots 61 every weekend.
Right.
I don't know. I wonder if his opinion of Scottie has changed, or his just his outlook on what he said on Full Swing has changed at all. But I feel like I remind everybody about I always say that because I feel like I've replayed that scene in my head. Just every time I watch dudes like this weekend just do this birdie fest, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if Brooks wants to be in this birdie fest competition. So anyways, long way of saying I don't know what to expect out of Brooks this week. But all right, do you have expectations of Brooks?
I expect him to be joyful, be happy out there that he's playing against these guys he probably missed playing with on a consistent basis. Am I expecting him to go out there and look like 5-time major Brooks? Nah, I'm not going to hold my breath and say that. But I know he'll probably be in a feature pairing group, and I'm sure he knows of that. And I hope that he plays well for all the attention he's gotten coming back to the PGA Tour from LIV, but I'm not going to sit there and wherever those odds are and, put a financial compensation on that, even though I don't be gambling, but that's just my analogy I'm using. I wouldn't put Brooks into that,
bet
man.
on it.
Yeah, I would not. But again, we got the Farmers Insurance this week, man. Torrey Pines, longest course on tour, 700-800 yards, narrow fairways, challenging par 5s, and long par 3s. Now, Nate, same rules we always do. You pick 3 winners, 2 dark horses, give a little bit of a reason why, and we'll see if the people out there agree with us. And again, if you're watching or you're new here, please like and subscribe and comment. Again, do not text me and Nate your thoughts on what we said. Say it in the comments if that's on Spotify or if that is on YouTube. Nate, will you want to start? You want me to start? How you want to do this?
I'm ready to go. If you want to let me go, but
give me all 3 of your projection to wins. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the thing. I also am like, I'm not gonna pick Xander. So granted, I feel like one of my picks is like an easy pick, if you will.
Yeah.
But my first pick is going to be Sahith because he owned the last 2 weeks. He balled out except round one, both events. So he just sucked on round one, and then the next 3 were great. I think maybe the travel, like going to Hawaii, then coming from Hawaii to California, maybe mess with it. So since he's staying in California, I think maybe that will like boost that round one. So if he just plays an average round one, he might have a really good weekend, be in contention for the win. So that's pick number one. And he hits it far. Like he has distance. So, and he has game.
Right.
Number 2 pick is Chris Gotterup. So
okay. He proved me wrong. That's a good pick now. It is now a reasonable reason to pick Chris Gotterup.
Dude, yeah, I know. Watch it. Like, just because I picked him, he's just going to stink, dude. I swear. So, his putting was unbelievable week 1.
Sony Open, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that just kind of transitions into this week. Also, the Sony Open was close to the beach. Torrey Pines is close to the beach. I wonder if, like, because it would be different if it was like this course was in, the mountains. This course is in the beach.
Desert.
Now you got to putt. Yeah, or desert, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think he can figure out the beach putting vibes because, like, everything slants to the water. I think he has a good feel for that. Week 1 is proof of it. And how he does in link style courses. Wait, hang on. Nah, those courses are on the beach though. That he did well.
No, like they're along the. Well, links is just along the coast. So I mean, similar, and it's just that wind that's always kind of coming in off the coast.
Yeah.
Plays a part. So I mean, kind of.
But anyways, that I'm digging a little too deep to try to justify why I'm picking Chris Gotterup at this point. But yeah. So Chris Gotterup, and we all know he's got distance. So he's gonna be my pick. My second pick, and my third pick is Ludwig. Because
coming off a withdrawal illness.
Yeah. Oh shoot, that's right. Go
ahead.
No, but he just did really well last year at Torrey Pines at the Genesis Invite.
Yeah.
Granted, Harris English won here last year, and I'm not picking him. So sorry, Harris.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with
Ludwig. More upside.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the young guy. If his putter can putt, then I think Ludwig's going to be a threat.
Good takes, man. And yeah, hopefully, I don't know. It was a lot of guys that withdrew with illness. I don't know if something was going around.
Yeah, what the heck? There's 3 dudes.
Yeah, who was it? Rico Hoy.
Ludwig, Clan.
And Luke Clan. And there was somebody else that withdrew, but it was due to injury. Maybe Rico Hoy withdrew due to injury, but it was one more person that did withdraw because of illness. And I was just like, something's going on there. But let's see if Ludwig can have some familiarity and the feeling of winning, because he did win here last year, the Genesis Invite. So good take, man. But I'm starting off, bro. I got to go with the homie Xander, man. I hope that his putter is back like the year he won both those majors. He hasn't missed a cut in 72 tournaments. I don't think that's going to happen today. His rib is obviously fully healed from last year and the beginning of the season when he had to sit out a little bit. So I'm totally rooting for Xander, man. And I want him to get back into, the dominance he had in those 2 majors. The season he had 2 major wins, so someone can kind of like bump heads with Scottie, and we can see like that dog fight, like we spoke last time, that Tom Brady, Peyton Manning type fight and stuff like rivalry. That. And I say that in respect too, because I mean Rory is definitely a part of that as well. But I guess 2 of the likable guys go at it, as opposed to Rory.
And Rory's like overseas, and like he plays DP and stuff like that. So it's we don't see it week to week. Whereas Xander, he's a U.S. guy, and I think Xander for sure is going to contend this week.
I'm really hoping so, man. Next guy I got is Maverick McNeely. As we know, Ludwig Oberg beat Maverick, and Maverick was in contention in the Genesis Invitational against him. He started his season off with a top 25, which is solid to be a good spot to start off in. This course is long. Maverick McNeely is 9th in average driving distance, which will give him short shots and approaches, and he's a solid approach shot player, being ranked 35th. Approach to green, and also he's 12th in putting, man. So very high hopes for Maverick McNeely, but again, he played well here last year, just losing to Ludwig Oberg, finishing with a 2nd place. And lastly, I'm being consistent because I'm seeing his game climb each and every week. Siwoo Kim again, man. He's trending, bro. Had a solid finish at the Sony Open, a solid finish this week, was actually in contention this week, just didn't have his best Sunday. And I'm going to have the same concerns I've had for Siwoo like I had last week, and it's just short game, bro. He was 66 in the field this week in regards to strokes gained putting, and then he was 7th around the green. So he has to, like, just drop that down to, like, in the 40th.
Putter.
In the 40th, and maybe we're talking about a victory for Siwoo, but it's hard for me not to pick him because of the way he's playing, all the attention he had with possibly going to LIV, and he's showcasing that I didn't have to go to LIV to make money or to, you know, have some notoriety to my name. I'm playing good golf now. So I'm hoping to see Siwoo get a victory, man, because he's been climbing each and every week, and he doesn't have to worry about Scottie. Now, again, if Xander's back to his form he was 2 years ago, then you got to worry about Xander, but we'll see how Siwoo does. Nate, let me get 2 of your dark horse picks.
All right. This one's kind of tough, and I don't know if some of these guys count as a dark horse. I will say I'm going to do a little honorable mention. Shout out to Ryan Gerard. Ball the last 2 weeks.
Big
Ball
time.
the last 2 weeks. I feel like I should pick him, but I ain't going to pick him as a dark horse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I'm going to go JJ Spawn. I don't know if that counts as a dark horse.
I mean, a dark horse is I guess
I just feel like he's
golf in its totality, it's not a dark horse. But like, if there's a reason why you don't want to fully invest in him being a winner, yet it's like, you know, I want to pick him as a dark horse because of these factors. I mean, sure.
Well, I just think, like, as far as dark horses go, if you go on FanDuel or DraftKings,
for sure,
he won't be a top guy. I mean, I think he'll be up there, but he won't be a top guy.
Mm-hmm. Now we got to think about this. Now, what school did he go to?
SDSU, right?
So the odds might be a little higher.
Oh shoot!
Yeah,
whatever. I don't know if this counts as a dark horse. I almost feel like Sahith is a dark horse more than him, but
then JJ Spawn, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I feel like all my picks are like low key dark horses, except for maybe Ludwig. You know, yeah. Well, I guess Goddard up, he won earlier this year. Yeah, but JJ, I don't know. My only caution with JJ is that he's not super long off the tees, but I think his short game and his putting can make up for that.
I thought you were about to say because he uses a lab putter.
Also, this side tangent. Thank God Ricky isn't using that ugly putter anymore. Man,
went back to the Scottie Cameron, yeah.
And he balled out this week without the lab putter. He did. Just to let everybody know, you don't need a lab putter to ball out.
That's funny.
All right, look at Ricky. Okay, anyways.
Look at Ricky.
My second dark horse is Willie Z.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a pretty promising performance. What did he finish? He finished like 30th, I think, right?
Somewhere in the bottom tier. I mean, he made the cut and played solid golf, coming off a back injury. That's confidence.
Yeah. He finished 18th, dude. He tied Ricky Fowler.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that's a solid performance after an injury. I'm hoping he trends upwards.
Back injury.
Yeah, and remember he was in the playoff against JT at the PGA Championship.
Yeah,
if he gets back into that playoff, like Will Compton will always be like playoff Willie. So I'm always like, if he gets back to playoff Willie, I don't know, good things can happen. So I'm picking him more or less because I'm rooting for him.
I like that.
And I will say this. So we looked it up a long time ago, but there was a tournament here at McCormick Ranch. There was like a national tournament, a high school tournament.
You and Aaron looked it up?
Yeah. And so one of my friends, he's a coach at a community college in Nebraska, and he's all like, yeah, so I was trying to recruit this kid, and he played at this event in McCormick Ranch. So then I went to like, hey, maybe I'll look up like 2012 results to see how my ex-teammates did in college. He looked it up, and he's all like, oh, and I saw that Aaron won it, and guess who got third? Will Zalatoris. So then my brother's like, I beat Will Zalatoris? Yeah. He's my favorite golfer now. And then when Will Zalatoris had that Masters run, my brother's like, let's go, Will. I'm about to beat a Masters champion. Let's go. So now Will Zalatoris is my brother's favorite player on tour. Yeah. And, we love him because he's Happy Gilmore's caddy. So
there you go. That's funny. That's Aaron's claim to fame right there, man. My dark horse pick, man, I'm going with the best swing on the PGA Tour, which is obviously that homie Jake Knapp. We already talked about the difficulties of the par fives at this course. He's second in par five scoring. And so far this year, even though hasn't been much of a season yet, um, he's played number one. He's number one in total putting so far. So obviously, long hitter, good putter, and he's number one in scrambling from the rough. And we know how Torrey Pines
Oh,
plays
shoot,
in those
Jeremy. I think
roughs.
that's
So
gonna be a sleeper pick,
yeah,
dude.
big
That's a
time
good
sleeper
pick.
pick. And he's a California guy. He's from Orange County. So I would like to see
Man,
Jake
just
Knapp.
adding up those
That's all I'm doing.
justification points, dude.
That's all I'm doing. I hope it's with good reason too. And the next person I'm going with, he actually works out with a golf coach out here at Jen Parks. Shout out to Jen Parks. Kevin Yu, bro. Kevin Yu,
Oh yeah,
first,
ASU
yeah,
guy.
there you go. First tournament this year. I had to go back to his 2025 statistics to actually find some reasoning why I'm picking him. He was sixth in strokes gained off the tee, fourth in total drive, and he had the longest drive of the year last year at 452 yards. So obviously, if he still has that power off the tee, being a big hitter, and he can stay accurate and stay out the roughs, obviously, I'm pretty confident with his approach shots. He was sixth in approach shots inside of 100 yards. So hypothetically, obviously, it's a par four, 472, whatever, hits it 300 or 372, whatever, inside 100. I'm hoping, he's just throwing darts from there, man. But again, Kevin Yu, Dark Horse, Jim Parks, I hope you've been working hard with him. Prove me right today, man. But Nate, I want to
Jim
move over
Parks.
to this. Yeah, Charles Barkley's take on the Masters. He picked Max Homa winning. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, I don't know, dude. I think it's a good take. I want Max Homa to win the Masters.
I think it's a good take too. I mean,
Max Homa looks a little better this year. Looks like a little better trend.
but this is the thing for me in regards to Max Homa. Even though he was having struggles, last year, for some reason these last 2 years when he's in the Masters, he plays very well. Finished T12 at the Masters last year as well as 2024, finished with a T3. So it can be like Max is not playing as well as he would like in all these other tournaments, but for some reason, when Max gets to Augusta,
He just turns it
he
up.
dials in, bro. So Charles picking Max Homa, I don't think it's a bad take. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. Is picking Max Homa to win the Masters a hot take from Phoenix's own Charles Barkley? But guys, also on this channel, we respect women's golf, man. I got a lot of homegirls that play on the Epson Tour. Got some homegirls that play on the LPGA. The LPGA season's about to start next week. We're not going to do a super deep dive and pick, but Nate, I would love to know what are some of your things you're hoping to see this year in women's golf as they do start off with the Hilton Grand Vacation Tournament in Orlando.
Okay, so we just got done talking about Scottie Scheffler. I kind of hope that something like Scottie happens on the LPGA. I hope Gino plays well. I hope she gets multiple wins this year, or Nelly. I mean, I don't really care who it is.
Yeah.
Or Anna Rukon, or whoever.
Yeah.
But I would like to see someone become the face. I would just want to see someone elevate above everyone. So,
Yeah, it was really close last year.
I think that would be cool. I think Gino is kind of is getting a little bit ahead in that race, but
Yeah.
I would like to see her gain some distance, just so we have a face of the LPGA kind of a deal, and then we have someone to root for or against. Because be totally honest, no offense, Scotty stands, but I was definitely rooting for Andrew Putnam. I wanted to see, I wanted to see the homie
100%.
Andrew take
Big
down
time.
Scotty.
Big time. Oh my god.
And yeah, so I kind of think that would be good for women's golf if we had like a figure like Scotty to be like, this is the person we want to root for, or this is the person we want to see get dethroned, like a Brady or something. So
yeah. I mean, I would say this though. I know we had this not argument, but we had this debate last year in regards to the face of the LPGA. I think the face of the LPGA is still technically Nelly, but obviously Gino is the number one golfer. They're going to showcase Nelly swing over and over and over, just like they do with Scotty. And I remember I had problems with that last year because I'll be like, bro, Malsego's winning. Can we show Malsego swing or something like that? Or any other golfer. I mean, the ones that are consistently showcasing all the time is either going to be Nelly or Charlie Hull. I mean, you'll get Gino in there because she is world number one, but like, you're not going to consistently show Grace Kim. You're not going to consistently show Ingrid Lindblad or Maya Starks or anything like that. Lottie Woe. Yeah, they'll do it for a short period because they won, but you're not going to see just like I just want to see what golf is giving me. Like right now, if there's someone in the top three, or there's a hole in one, or a sick birdie six shot, sure. But if it's like, if you're going to just show me Nelly making a routine par four par, like
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to
But
see that over and over and over and over and over. But she
yeah.
still is the face, even though like I was just trying to stir some things with the audience last year by saying it's Gina.
Yeah, yeah. It's just because now she's not like the person that's unbeatable. Whereas
Yeah, Sky is
Scotty
this
is
guy
like,
seems yeah.
he's the face of the PGA and he's unbeatable.
Yes, that's true.
So we want to see
Yeah.
someone dethrone him, or we just want
Yeah.
to keep seeing greatness. There's people who are on both sides, and that was kind of what was happening in Nelly in 2024. It was like we
Yeah.
were just. I feel like LPGA fans are just getting behind her and being like, "Dude, we want to see some greatness." And if she
Yeah.
would have just followed it up this last year, then we would have been like, "Dude,
Yeah.
Gino, can you dethrone her already?"
Yeah. Yeah. I think with me, in regards to Scotty, I just want to see him be in a dogfight. And the closest we kind
Yeah,
of got with that was the BMW last year, because Robin McIntyre was winning, and then
With
Robert
McIntyre, yeah,
McIntyre started to fold, and I think was it hole 15, which was
15, he
like a
chipped it
really,
in.
really hard birdie. And for
Yeah,
some reason, that just flipped the script when Scotty made that. But like, I just want to see Scotty fight, man. I mean, seeing him win by 6 strokes, which could have been 8, but he just got lazy and got a double just because. Like, I just want to see
yeah, got a
somebody
double on
fight. Like,
17.
if like Scotty comes out in a dog fight and like I just beat Xander by a stroke, I'd be like, respect. But like seeing him win by 7 and Scotty stands are gonna hate this, it's like, man, dog, y'all gonna make me turn off golf, because like, and like Scotty don't care. He's like, I'm trying to dominate. I'm trying to show you like I'm
Yeah,
not
of
here to
course.
barely win. I'm trying to, and Scotty should do that, stands. But a viewer of the sport, I want to see a heavyweight fight, just kind of like what we got with when we asked for with Rory and Bryson. We was like, oh, we got a heavyweight fight, LIV versus PGA, Bryson versus Rory, revenge of the U.S. Open.
US Open.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
bro.
get Justin
Underwhelming.
Rose versus Rory McIlroy there.
No, I
So,
get what you mean. Like you want both ends. Like Tiger. This is why we love Tiger. Because
mhm,
Tiger would dogfight win and he would dominate win. He would win by
yeah,
10 or whatever.
yeah,
But he would come down the stretch and be like, I need to make an eagle. I'm making an eagle. I'm forcing overtime. Then I'm gonna win in overtime. And yeah, I would like to see, you were absolutely right. I would definitely like to see more of that with Scotty.
and we just
The
don't
last
get it.
couple wins, he had, like the one in Valhalla against John Rahm, I guess it was, he had so many more holes ahead. He was so many more holes
Oh
behind
yeah,
John Rahm that it
yeah,
wasn't really a dogfight. Like John Rahm was tied, but
yeah,
Scotty had to hit 14 that drivable par four to go,
yeah,
and that was a guaranteed birdie for him essentially.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like I would like, yeah, more dog. You're absolutely right, dude. I
yeah,
just like
yeah.
more contention.
Yeah, but to stick with women's golf LPGA, which I got us
Yeah,
off
my
topic
bad.
a little bit there, man. I mean, I'm excited to see just a lot of my friends on the Epson Tour who graduate on the LPGA play, man. I'm excited to see the homie Haley Cooper. I'm excited to see Gina Kim. I'm
Gina
excited to see,
Kim.
Brianna Chacon. I'm excited to see these women play on the LPGA. But also, I want to see if Lila Vu can come back to form, man. I want to see if she can get back to 2023 when
Yeah,
she won
dude.
4 times, won 2 majors, the AIG Women's Open and the
Made
Chevron.
like every cut she played in. Yeah.
Bruh, I want to see her and see if she's back, man. She didn't make a lot of cuts last year. I don't know if her back was still affecting her, but I would love to see if she's back to form. And obviously, me being a huge fan of Mal Sago, I want to see Mal Sago come out here and also dominate. But guys, again, if you're still here, please like, subscribe, man. We gotta get over to the worst tour in the world, LIV Golf, man. So it's funny. I always see PGA fans say they don't care anything about LIV Golf. Yet anytime there's some news about LIV Golf, they're always getting an attitude about it. However, Nate, the question I have for you, man, obviously we've already talked about it. The world has already talked about it. Michael LaSasso signs with Phil Mickelson's Four Aces team. Does this signing push Bryson to extend his contract and live beyond 2026? Because obviously, I don't know if he was afraid, like, okay, there is nothing elevating this league. There is nothing that's bringing attention to it. But getting a big name like the #1 college golfer to sign, what do you think that does for DeChambeau?
I mean, I also think when he won the national championship last year, he
Mm,
took the internet by storm because he had a very unique swing. And I think he had a little bit of a personality, whereas, like, dude, who won the Nationals in 2024? Like, nobody knows. I think this guy was just already had a little bit of notoriety, which is why that was a very good signing for Liv. Out of a crappy offseason of
Big time.
signing nobody minus
Yeah.
Thomas Dietrich.
Thomas Dietrich. Yep.
Um, I think LaSasso is a good name, and we want to see him play on the big stage, and I
Yeah.
guess that would be Liv in this case. I
Yeah.
do kind of feel bad for him. Like, does this mean, because there were like implications for him to not play in the Masters and a lot of these majors because he took the Liv contract, right?
Yeah. So he won't be able to play. He has to forfeit, obviously, playing in the Masters, which, that sucks because the Masters isn't considered a PGA event.
Yeah,
Its own separate entity. So, like, I don't know why he would have to forfeit that because he went to live. I mean, and unless the Masters in itself put that rule into play. But there's plenty of other live guys that still get to play on there that have not won the Masters. So I'm not talking about like guys like a Dustin Johnson or Patrick Reed. I'm talking about like, you know, Joaquin Neiman gets to still play in it.
Yeah,
He could still play in it. Obviously Bryson DeChambeau still gets to play in it. Obviously because
Hatton.
DeChambeau won
Yeah.
majors and stuff. Tyrell Hatton. So I hate that became a thing. And obviously anybody in the audience that's listening right now, if you guys can find what is the reason why he had to forfeit that opportunity, because
So
it's not a PGA event.
so would Bryson be kind of like screwing this kid over if he just leaves? Because I think if Bryson goes, he might be a domino for Rahm, Hatton, Smith, Cam Smith. He might not too, because like I think a lot of people thought Brooks was going to be a domino, and
I didn't think Brooks was gonna be. Only one I thought who it would be Bryson.
well, I mean, I'm saying people thought Brooks was going to be domino, but
Okay, yeah.
I think if Bryson goes, that's a huge hit because he is a big draw, and if Liv is really not selling tickets, I'm pretty sure. I've talked about how I think the Liv people, the people who run Liv, probably don't have the greatest business acumen. I think it doesn't. I think even very bad business people with no, hey, if we lose Bryson, this league is going to go under, and
Yeah.
so I do think he would be like a domino. So with that being said, how much does Bryson weigh that in his decision for extending his contract? Like, am I just going to shaft this kid? But it's also like he shouldn't make a decision based off this kid. I don't think he owes this kid anything to make his decision on whether or not to renew his live contract or to go back to the PGA Tour.
No, I think Bryson, rightfully so, is going to make a selfish decision in regards to if he goes
Yeah.
back. He's going to think about him. He's not going to think about the other guys
And his family or whatever.
And his which I don't know. Bryson's a pretty private guy. I don't know if he's dating anybody or he just seems like he's a bit of he's a great person. He has great friends. He seems like a bit of a loner. I don't know if he's really thinking about family. Like that.
He seems like a bachelor. Let's call him a bachelor. So that sounds better. Yeah.
Right. There it is, man. But I want to move over to this. Patrick Reed did a great job winning in Dubai by 4 strokes, beating Rory by, I think Rory finished with 33rd. So beating him by 32 spots, man. Great win for Patrick Reed, Captain America. I've been an advocate for Patrick Reed. Even I was talking about last year how if he would have just made the cut, the Open, he was definitely warranted a pick for the Ryder Cup. But after winning the Dubai, Patrick Reed revealed that he has not yet signed with LIV Golf for the 2026 season. Reed said he is expecting the deal to get done before the league's first event, but there was still work to be done. Reed also recently revealed that he will welcome a return to the PGA Tour, but that he wouldn't be eligible under the current returning members pathway. What do you think is?
I think Reed's statement's more or less hedging bets because he probably wants to drain LIV of their funds, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to see him back on tour. I know I texted you like, LIV can keep Reed, but I don't know. Part of me wants it to be a little bit interesting for like the LIV to be kind of scrambling for their players. I think it would be really interesting if they start losing Reed, then they start losing Bryson, and I want to see, well, dude, because like, look, if they come back from losing Patrick Reed and Bryson, that'd be the greatest comeback ever. They'd be like, hey, Phil, Rahm, put the LIV Tour on your back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. He would like. I feel like this. Like Patrick Reed could also, screw over this LaSasso kid.
Yeah. I mean, only person who would be doing wrong by LaSasso would be, which he's not going back at all, would be just Phil Mickelson. However, I think in regards to the Patrick Reed statement, he said he'll play on every tour if he can. He's played on the Asian Tour, he's played on the DP World Tour, he's played on the PGA Tour, he's played on
That's
the LIV
cool.
Tour. So he said, man, I'll play on all tours. But he did say the PGA Tour is the best tour, and the LIV hasn't established itself to be in contention to be the best tour in the world. So I think Patrick Reed obviously knows that. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with the contract talks. I know he said he does not like to talk contract between Thursday and Sunday. He said Monday through Wednesday, we can figure out all the contract stuff. But he said if a deal doesn't get done, he'll just continue to play on the DP World Tour. Even though I think LIV players are facing fines by the DP World Tour for playing in LIV. But he's like, man, if I win, then I'm fine. And Patrick Reed ended up winning that tournament. So, yeah, it's a lot going on. I'm a Patrick Reed fan. And not like a fan, like I'm a diehard, because I don't want people to start to, broaden
You
that.
like that prick?
Yeah. I don't want to make it bigger than what
Associate
it
you?
is. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm okay. Like, yeah, I like Patrick Reed. Like, I don't have a problem with him, but like, I wouldn't put him into like, I would probably fight for Max Homa if I'm like in
Yeah.
a sports debate, like, but I'm not gonna fight for Patrick Reed unless it's like within reason. Like, I'll talk sports, like, well, I think Patrick Reed with this, but I'm not gonna like go to the table like I would a Max Homa
With
and stuff
Homa.
like that.
Yeah, I'm defending
Yeah.
Homa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Homa,
man.
we got your back, dude. We got your back here.
100%, man. But I hope Patrick Reed, they come to a contract conclusion as well as they come to one with Bryson DeChambeau. Maybe I'm messy and I like the rift between both tours, but that's just me, man. Let's get into obviously our new level player of the week, which are clubs made by players for the players. And Nate, we got some options here. I'd love for us to discuss. Do you think the new level player of the week should be Blaze Brown, Andrew Putnam, Patrick Reed, or the guy who just won the Champions Tour, Stuart Sink?
You're not gonna put Scottie on the list, or
No, that's yeah. I say this lightly because in reality, it's like, am I going to say every week, player of the week, Scottie Scheffler, player of the week, Scottie, like if he gets in like a dogfight, like I said, and comes out victorious, I'll give him the new level player of the week. But putting Scottie on there,
Okay.
it's just and fans, because we're gonna get thousands of views on this episode. They're gonna hate that statement, dog. They're gonna hate it so much, and they're probably gonna dislike me for it. But hey, dog, like that's how I want to move in things. Because again, I want to force us to really think why this person should be like. It's just too easy. It's a simple handout giving it to Scottie. So again, I want to break it down between these four: Putnam, Blaze Brown, Patrick Reed, or Stuart Sink.
All right. So you're essentially saying we don't know who the player of the week is, but we know it's not Scottie.
We know it's not Scottie. It's not Scottie. Not giving it to Scottie, man. It's too easy, man.
Dude,
too easy. These guys, the guys I just named, they crawled and scratched their way to get to where they were at.
They totally did.
Guy was a walk in the park.
Yeah, that's true. He looked like he was just chilling.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's hard to pick Blades because of the finish. So, dude, great performance. First 3 days, if we would have cut it off the first 3 days, he probably would have been the guy. Given his age and, he still has room to grow, and his inexperience is also just makes it a lot more impressive what he's done. Putnam, same thing. Like I think he needed to capitalize on more putts towards the end of the round. He had a few looks coming down the stretch, and just on 16, the par 5, had a look and just couldn't capitalize, even though the game was kind of already over. But to get into solo second, I think would have been huge for him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm almost inclined to give it to Stuart Sink, dog.
Wow.
It's hard to give it to anyone else on the PGA Tour.
This is my take. I'm going to say Putnam because from an outside perspective, I'm a fan of Putnam. he wasn't supposed to be there. Stuart Sink
That's
is
true.
the #1 golfer on the PGA Champions Tour. Blaze
And
Brown
Patrick Reed is up there for
and Patrick
DP
Reed
too.
in DP as well, and LIV. I think he was in the top 6 players. Putnam was not supposed to be there. So because we have yeah, so I'm gonna say the level up player of the week is the homie Andrew Putnam. Andrew, if you do watch this or someone in his camp watches this, I don't know if that means anything to you. I know you're a strict son guy. I'm a new level guy, but I just want to let you know, bro, if it's a consolation prize, even though you didn't win this week, you are a new level player of the week, man. So congratulations to Andrew Putnam, man. Anyone who watches this, if I do make this a reel, y'all tag Andrew Putnam, dog. Spam him. I'm gonna make Andrew hate me. I don't want him to hate me, bro. But Nate, I want to move over to obviously our faith portion of Golf and Gospel podcast, guys. Obviously, you hear the word gospel. We do love to talk about our faith in Jesus and how He's working in our lives, and how we hope to see you guys come to accept Him or just be curious about Him. But the question I have for us, Nate, is how has transitioning out of sports been for you? If you guys who new here, Nate played D1 collegiate golf at the University of Nebraska. And as I alluded to in the beginning of this episode, I played in the NFL for 6 years. So there was a transition period for both me and Nate. But Nate, I'd love to hear your take in regards to that.
I don't know. It was a slow transition because my career ended more abruptly. I talked about this
Right.
on your channel, but I got in a really bad, for listeners I don't know, I got in a really bad car accident, and I broke my skull. And because when you have a skull fracture and a traumatic brain injury, you could have like post concussive, post TBI symptoms, and I got those a lot whenever the semester started, and coincidentally, the golf season started. So I think just the stress and I always had a little bit of anxiety because I've always wanted to like prove my coaches right for believing in me.
Mm-hmm.
So that whenever those things happened and combined with like because in syllabus week, that's when you're like the most overwhelmed with school because they just like list out everything you're going to do that semester. When I got all those things combined, I would get these symptoms, you know, and then so the medical staff at Nebraska was like, your career's just done. Like we'll just pay for your school, and you know you can just be done and focus on school, and we'll get you a degree. So that was a really tough pill for me to swallow.
Right.
Because I was the most. Sorry, I'm gonna pause real quick.
You good?
I'm
You
just
good,
gonna
bro?
not have a light.
Yeah.
No, so I was really lost at that moment in my life. Whenever my golf career ended, I feel like trying to find myself was really hard, and not only that, I think the biggest there was a lot of lessons in my life that I learned in that moment when I was leaving my sport. Like trying to find myself. But I think the biggest lesson was just trying to trust God in those times where you're like, I have no idea what I want to do with my life. I never thought about not being a golfer. Because golf, your career could be a long time. And in my head, I was going to pursue pro golf. And I just think with my college career ending kind of abruptly, I feel like I didn't have a real chance to pursue pro golf because it was hard to get sponsorships. It's hard to get, you know, kind of deals. And I just didn't have because when I medically retired, I wasn't allowed to play in any golf tournaments for the rest of the time I was in school. So I had 2 more years out of school. I couldn't play in a golf tournament. So I feel like I couldn't build into going into pro golf. So I was like, I think this is it. So that was tough. Like thinking about like, what am I going to do outside of golf? I've only ever thought about golf, you know, but I think the like that Matthew 6, for like in the Sermon on the Mount where God talks about like, you see the birds in the sky, God feeds them. You see the flowers in the field, God clothes them. How much more does He care about you? I feel like that passage almost defined that. Like I was really worried about what I was going to do for the next 2 years and then after. And then God took care of me. Like He put things in place that helped me get to the next thing, get to the next thing, get to the next thing. And now I'm in a career that I love. And, you know, and I'm in a career that I love, which gives me the means to do the things that I love, like this podcast, go
Yeah.
play golf.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think trusting God was probably the hardest thing, and the muscle that I worked out the most in that time.
Wow. Wow. Now, this is new for me. Obviously, I've heard this story from you before, but did it take you 2 years to figure out, like, oh, you know what? I want to be a physical therapist? Or did you already kind of know that, like, that was in the back of your mind, even though, like, you had this aspirations to go play professional golf? Like, was it just plan A and nothing else after that? Or, like, when you got hurt, you was like, hurt, I'm not trying to belittle it. When you suffered, obviously, the car accident, did you say, like, you know what? I think I want to get into a field that services people. Well, I can service people to recover from injuries.
Dude, so talk about trying to find myself here. So that 2 years when I got in my car accident, they're like, "You're done." I had I had 2 years of school left, essentially. And at the time, I was a broadcasting and advertising major. So I was a double major in broadcasting and advertising.
Well,
I
you're
didn't
kind of
change
using
my
that
major.
now. You're still using the
I know, I'm
broadcasting
kind
over
of
here.
yeah. So I'm using my degree. So heck
There you
yeah.
go.
So my plan when I got done with golf was I was trying to work in athletics. There's a bit of me that was like, maybe I just pursue coaching, you know. So I tried to do that, and they were like, yeah, it's really hard to get into college coaching. I didn't feel like my coaches in college were gonna really support me for that, because my head coach, I don't know, he kind of sucked. So I didn't really want to. I feel like I didn't get a lot of help for that. But during FCA camps, a lot of the people in FCA camps are like, dude, you should get into coaching. But then, anyways, that didn't pan out. And then I got into maybe athletic administration, so like working in college athletics. And then I interned in the athletic department. I was like, I don't want to do this. But then I worked in the weight room. That's when I wanted to become a PT, because I was so interested in, like, how do you build muscle? How do you improve sports performance? That was just a big passion of mine, because I always liked working out. I was always like, yo, I want to be like Arnold and be jacked, you know?
Which is why
So
you hit the ball
that,
380.
I don't know. I'm trying to be like that Jim Park guy, dude. It's my
Jen's
first time
awesome.
hearing about this dude.
Jen's awesome. Yeah, he trains out at Kierland, so yeah, he's a great dude.
Oh, dope. Yeah. So, but anyways, I worked in the weight room, and whenever like an athlete was hurt, I was like, I want to figure out how to help you. And then that's when I was all like, maybe I should do physical therapy and try to pursue that. So then it was like literally that was 2 years. Like I went from one thing to the other to the
Wow.
other, and it took like to the very end when I was about to graduate. Like, I think I'm gonna try to take prereqs and then go pursue physical therapy. So it was a long journey.
That's awesome, man. And I love hearing how God restored a new passion in you. Obviously restored you physically from the car accident and as well, and has I hope this gives people in the audience a hope. You know, I mean, it's encouraging for me to hear, and even just transitioning for me, man. I would say retiring from the NFL, bro, is a tug of war debate in my head, or emotion in my head, where like I'm content because I know where my identity lies, but there's a frustration because it's like, what do I do from here? And if obviously people that know me, or maybe if you don't know me, I don't want to be kept in a box where it's like, oh, well, if you play in the NFL, you can only either go coach in the NFL or go into sales. I have a joy. This isn't like what I'm doing in the golf space isn't like I'm bored with an idea. Or the Lord has given me an idea and I'm walking it out. I think where that frustration comes is I feel as sometimes I'm disqualified in this space because I'm not famous or because I have an NFL background. And it's like, man, hearing you talk about golf, it's just like you just disqualified me. When in reality, bro, if you have listened to us, me and Nate be having some great takes that are reality, but it's never showcased. And then other outlets talk about it, and it's like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. But it's like, we already talked about that. So I put a lot of time and effort into this, man.
Yeah, you definitely do
And
your homework.
all the time, bro. And it's just like, I just struggle because no one is seeing me for my new vocation that I'm hoping, grows. I have identity struggles, but like I said, it's a tug of war argument or the motion in my head because it's like I know my identity lies in Christ, but like no one is respecting or giving me a shot in something that I'm passionate about, so I'm just automatically disqualified. And transition out of the NFL is tough, bro. It is a little bit easier if you had pedigree in the league. Like, obviously, an extreme example is like a Tom Brady. Opportunities are going to be afforded to you way, way easier because you're Tom Brady. But there's a bigger crop of guys that played 3 to maybe 6 years in that space where I'm at that were just your basic NFL guys, play some special teams, maybe got a few catches here and there. But when you're done, like, no one's like giving you opportunity like that. I won't say no one, but it's very little opportunity that's given to us.
Yeah,
And I'm
versus while you're in the league too.
Yes, yes, bro. Yeah, being a current NFL player versus former is two totally different things. And I've said this before. I don't know if I said it on my channel or on this podcast, bro. Trying to learn or get experience in a new vocation, you're behind the 8 ball, bro. Like, I'm currently 34, and there are things like I would love to learn, like in golf media, or I would love to shadow these people or do these internships. But like you get disqualified because it's like, nah, we don't really want this 34-year-old. We want the hot shot out of
22-year-old.
the 22-year-old, right? But it's
The
like,
fresh college grad. Yeah.
yeah, dog. And it's like I played in the NFL 6 years. I didn't have time to learn any new skill sets. So as of lately, bro, yeah, it's just been some emotional things I've been dealing with, and it's almost like, am I putting into question my identity? Like, I'm not, because I know, but the emotions, the feelings of it have been a struggle. And I know I've talked about in the past about like, man, I should just quit, like rip this desire from me. But the analogy that comes in my head, I don't know, Nate, have you seen like that meme where that dude is like chiseling rocks and they're like diamonds behind it? And it's like 2 pictures. The top picture is like
Yeah,
a
he's still
guy,
going.
he's still going, and the other bottom picture is like the guy turned away. And every time I think about quitting, I'm like, dog, I wonder if I was just 2 more chisels away from seeing the fruits. So that's what keeps me going. And again, like, I enjoy doing this, but trying to find your footing in a new space outside of like football is super tough unless, again, if you were a superstar player or if you broke the bank as a player, and let's say you weren't like a huge name, but you signed like maybe a 3-year, $30 million deal, you're able to take more risk investing in things. A lot
Yeah.
of times those things come back to you because you can afford to, like, okay, I can invest $10,000 in this, and like, wow, it turned into $5 million in the future. Guys in my space, we can't take a risk like
Can't
that,
throw around
man.
10,000. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be super unwise. Like, technically I could, but it would be super unwise for me to do that.
Hmm.
Um, so the transition for me, bro, I would say I know where my identity lies. I have to continue to not convince myself, but to tell myself where my identity lies, and it just believe that maybe I'm just a few chisels away from seeing the fruits in this new desire the Lord has given me. But I think, kind of like you said, man, it's almost like the doubt and worry that I do have as a former player is that showing that I lack trust in God. I know I can verbally say I do trust in Him, but like, are my actions showcasing that? And I think a lot of time when that doubt
Yeah.
and worry creeps in, it comes into question.
What is your
But
mindset? Yeah. Does your mindset match that? Because I would be like, God's got me. God's got me. But I'm like, I just feel lost. Like, other
oh
side,
man,
I'm like, I just feel lost. Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, man. And like I said, for me, I just I don't want to just be seen in that box. Like, if I, like, hypothetically, let's say if I were to go on to be an NFL head coach, everyone would celebrate that. And it's just like, you only see me for this one thing when I have so many other like skill sets and
Passions, yeah.
and passions. But when I pursue that one, it's just like you just don't give me a shot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's become frustrating to the point, like I said before in past podcasts, like, Lord, just rip this desire from me and just give me something new. And he hasn't, and part of me, I'm happy that he hasn't because I like doing this. This is super fun. I just want to see the fruits of it. And again, like maybe I'm a few chisels away, or maybe I'm like 30 chisels away. But in reality, I just gotta keep hammering away, bro, and
Just gotta
trusting the
keep
Lord.
thugging it out, dude.
And keep thugging it out and trusting the Lord. And I think by me still doing this is showing that I'm trusting him. But it's like, how do I combat those negative thoughts and emotions with the hope that he's giving me? I love how you brought up the Sermon on the Mount too, bro, because when he's talking about trusting in the Lord's provision, man, like he feeds the birds, he feeds the lilies. I was just reading earlier today, I think it's Philippians 4:19. He says, my God is able to supply far more beyond anything that I can imagine. And when Paul was writing that letter, he was in prison, right? So the fact that Paul had that mindset to still say he can give me far more than anything that I can, and I'm paraphrasing the scriptures, that scripture, Philippians 4:19, that also brings me a hope. So, but again, transition isn't easy. Like you play a sport your whole entire life and it to come to an end abruptly. And obviously mine was not as detrimental as yours, but like I didn't think I was done after the Lions.
Yeah. It was
So
still
that's
somewhat
why
abrupt because it was a health thing.
it was still abrupt, but not like yours. Like both of ours were out of control, but like, and I hope this doesn't trigger you, but like, man, like who knows what happened if you could have still pursued. I still had the ability to pursue after the Lions, and I did, but it just nothing came from that. Like yours is like, man, I can't even pursue going pro anymore. So,
Well, I could. I just had to wait till I graduated,
mm.
and it was just I
But
feel like I would have.
But you had the new passion though, and you've been obedient to that passion. Like technically, you still could, but you found some good stability in your passion, which has been fruitful you from a monetary standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint. That it's like cool.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
dude, one of my friends who played in the NFL for like a training camp. You know, he played at ASU, academic All-American. Now he's a OC at JMU.
Good, nice.
But he was telling me like, so he played in the NFL, got cut, and he goes to the USFL, like back in the USFL days,
right?
In like 2012, 2013, and he played a year, got like another tryout, and then he quit. And I was like, dude, his name is Aaron Pflugrad. I'm like, why'd you quit? He goes, well, because I could just keep pursuing this, but then I would be 28 and getting into coaching versus I'm 24 now. Yeah. If I get into coaching now, I can kind of be a little bit ahead in my career.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like when he said that, I was kind of thinking, do I graduate and then keep playing pro golf, but then be like, you know, if I don't make it, be 30 when I pursue a new career versus me being 22 at the time now, pursuing a new career. So, I remember just thinking about, and I feel like that kind of bodes to like what you were saying about how like you're 34 now. It's like kind of hard to be an intern at 34. I guess these companies who do these internships want like a young guy, then they'll be at the company for 20 years. It's like, dude, no one's going to work there for 20 years, you know?
Yeah.
So,
you
know, but I also think to what you said, I remember one of my physical therapy mentors would be like, he'd always say like, I'd ask him like, did you play a lot of these sports that he worked in the NBA? I'm like, did you play a lot of these sports growing up or anything like that? And he goes, no, I never really played basketball. I played tennis and I swam growing up. Yeah. And I'm like, how did you get into basketball? He goes, just real quick though, I want to say that sometimes the PTs that don't play the sport, and in your case, sometimes the analysts that don't play the sport might be better at being an analyst because they do their homework a lot more extensively than the former player, because the former player just relies on their experience, which your experience is limited. It's a limited perspective because it's just your perspective. Whereas if you do homework, you'll get this guy's perspective. You'll get this. And so like, let's say, for example, since you do your homework, you'll get the perspective of a short hitter because you follow Andrew Putnam a lot. But then you also love Finau, so you'll get the perspective of a long hitter. And you'll kind of see like two different strategies on how to approach a long course versus a short course. So you might be better at your homework. Whereas for me, I'm always going to be empathize with the short hitters, or I guess I like big hitters, so I'd always empathize with long hitters and identify as long hitters and just be like, yeah, just pick the long guy, you know. So I think I will say the world does undermine that, but I think that should be like more or less your argument is like, dude, since I didn't come up with this, I do my homework a lot better than the dudes that did come up in it. I really think when we come on the show, I do feel like you are a lot more prepared than, and I do my homework. I swear.
Yeah.
I swear on God, I do my homework. But I feel like every time you come on here, I'm like, this guy has done his homework. And that's why I hope other people see how well you prepare and how hard you work for this, because I am truly impressed with how well you know the game as someone that didn't come up in the golf world.
No, I appreciate that, man. And again, when people listen, I just want them to obviously say like, man, like they're a reliable source, or like, oh, they came in prepared. They're not just like just talking just to talk. Like they're talking about statistics, giving reasons why. And like I said, this week, if you look at the leaderboard, you can tell we did our homework, bro. And then golf is hard to predict because it's not like obviously sports, which is 1v1. I got 50% chance. We're picking like out of a field of 70. So those chances are so little.
And it's not matchups, right?
It's not matchups, yeah. So for us to like, I think we had like maybe 5 players in the top 15 that we picked.
That we picked?
That is good. And we excluded Scottie, so it's really in the top 14.
Yeah, dude, let's go.
Right. But nah, man, that's great. And again, obviously there's some things for me that are still being written that I'm still hopeful for, but I hope you guys are encouraged by Nate's story, how, you know, a passion of his was taken away and the Lord, renewed a new passion in him, and he's doing very, very, very well in it. And if you're injured, hurt, and you need a PT, you need to come to Arizona and see my dog Nate Wong, man. But again, guys, this is the best podcast show, Golf and Gospel Podcast. We see you guys on the next episode after the Farmers Insurance and obviously the Hilton Garden Championship with the LPGA. I'm Geremy. This is my homie Nate. See you next time. Peace.